Hi guys, today is Sunday, September 16th. And welcome to episode 72 of Knits and Stuff. My name is Alicia, and today I'll be talking about events, finished objects, works in progress, pretty things, local delights, and wibbly wobbly timey-wimey. First, welcome to those of you that are new, and for those of you that are returning, thanks for coming back. Thank you for waiting. It's been a while since I have podcasted, and in local delights, I'll talk a little bit more about where I've been and what I've been doing. But until then, just get started with some knitting stuff. So also there is a group on Ravelry that you can join. I post updates about when I'm gonna podcast and if episodes are gonna be delayed, so you can find it there. The group is called Knits and Stuff Podcast, and there's a link in the show notes, which are at knitsandstuffpodcast.com. So let's get started. Events. So there are a couple events coming up. I'm not sure if I'm going to be going to them, but I'm going to try, I think. The first one is Dixon Lambtown. It is in Dixon, California. It's close to UC Davis and kind of on the way to Sacramento. And that is October 6th and 7th. Did I say that already? And so that's kind of a small little fair that they have a lot of like fiber related things and some vendors, and I've only been there once, but it was really nice to go because it was kind of smaller, but they still had a lot of stuff going on, so it was fun. And then the second event is Stitches SoCal, which I don't know if I'm going to go to, but I would like to. I mentioned this last episode, I think. It's the first year that Stitches is going to be in Southern California, and I don't live there. If this is your first time watching, I live in the Bay Area, so I normally go to Stitches West, which is in Santa Clara. But they're going to be in Pasadena on November 1st through the 4th. So if my fiance's family lives in LA, so if we're in the area that weekend, then I might try and go. So yeah, those are some events that I might swing by, and I guess if you see me there, feel free to say hi. And yeah, so let's get to some knitting. Finished objects. I have a pair of socks that are done. And these are the toe-up socks with a difference by Wendy D. Johnson. I knit them out of Nomadic Yarns Brit sock in the colorway Molly Weasley, and on US 1's 2.25 millimeters, the Addi Flexi Flips actually that are really neat. I will pull those out to show you. And I also, the main colorway in the socks is the Brit sock, Molly Weasley, and then I did the contrasting heels and toes, which actually match, and the cuff, actually match the colors pretty well. They kind of match with these stripes. These are actually two different colored stripes, kind of like a dark brown, maroony brown kind, and then a more purpley maroon right next to it. So this color is Miss Bab's Yummy 2-ply Toes in Dark Fury. So that's also kind of this brownish wine, really dark wine color. So yeah, that's the sock, and it's actually showing up a little bit dark. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. My lighting is really weird in here today, so things might be a little bit brighter or darker than they normally are. There's a lot of contrast in here, but yeah, it's not quite as contrasty in real life. But yeah, so I knit these on the Addi Flexi Flips, and these are essentially flexible double point needles. So you only need 3 of them instead of 4 or 5. And you have 2 that you are holding your stitches on, and then you knit with a third one. And I really liked these, and I found that I was knitting on these socks pretty often, and it was a little bit easier to stow away than double point needles, but not quite as easy as with circulars. So I would definitely try them out if you like either circulars or double points. It's kind of like a mix between the two, except you can't just drop the needle when you're done. I do that sometimes when I'm knitting with circulars. I'll get past a row and then I'll just drop the other needle, and then I forget about that when I'm using double points and accidentally drop the needle. But yeah, but these were really fun to knit with. And I also really liked the yarn and the colorway, so I was working on these a lot. And I took a road trip down to LA recently, so I had a lot of car time and knitting time in the car. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, these socks are done. The ends need to be woven in, but otherwise they are my finished object, first in a while now. So yeah, I've been working on the Ravelry challenge a little bit. You can set a challenge for yourself for the year, and then if you set projects, you can plan projects that you want to show up in that challenge by setting a deadline on them. And so I think my challenge was to do 10 projects, finished projects by the end of the year. And so I'm kind of slowly chipping away at that. I did really well in the beginning of the year, and then things kind of slowed down, but hopefully we'll get some more things done. So that's all my finished objects. Now we have works in progress, and there will be some familiar projects for those of you that have seen past episodes. But yeah, first I have more toe-up socks with a difference. Oh, I forgot to mention on these ones, I did do a Fish Lips Kiss heel for the heels for these socks. So that's that. And then I did 2x2 ribbing on here. I can't remember if that's what's suggested in the pattern or not, but yeah, just regular 2x2 ribbing. And then yeah, so works in progress. Again, I still have this first sock finish. It's out of Mustache Yarn Perfect Sock in Dark Side of the Moon. Same thing, US ones, 2.25 millimeter needles. I'm using Hayas, and it's a little bit tangled. And this is, I don't know if I have moved this since the last time I showed it, but I did knit a few rows recently. So this is the second sock. If you've seen the podcast before, you'll know that I missed the heel when I was knitting the first sock. So these are going to become afterthought heel socks, true afterthought heels, because I will have to cut the yarn and put in a heel. But I will get to that when I get to that. These are in my silver shed bag, my little sheet bag. And I think, and I also used, so on this one, the cuff, I did a 1x1 twisted rib, and I used Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, which I also used for those other socks, the same bind off. And then the cast on, I think, was the Judy's Magic cast on for the toes. So yeah, and I think that's all for this. So yeah, this was in the Silver Shed sheet bag. I forgot to show the bag I was working on for the other socks. I'm a little rusty. It's been a while since I podcasted. Keep forgetting things. So this one is the Chicken Boots project bag, which I got at Stitches. I don't remember if it was this past Stitches West or the one before that, but yeah, that's project bag. And then I have a shawl that I'm working on, the Woolen Waves shawl by Casapinka, and it is almost done. It's got a lot of ends and I think that's the wrong side. Okay, so this is the right side. I'm getting into the last section of the color repeats. And so this was a gradient set that I got from Miss Babs. And it's the Yummy 2 Ply Toes Fun in the Sun color set, plus the Quicksilver, which is the gray. And it's out of, or it's knit on US 6 4.0 millimeters. I'm using the Likey interchangeable needles. They're the wooden interchangeables. And yeah, so I'm getting close to being done. I know that when I mentioned this before, I was like, oh, this would be a great shawl for summer because of the colors, and I have not finished it yet and summer is slowly ending, but hopefully soon I will get this done, and then at least I'll have it for next summer. I've been holding the yarn in another Chicken Boots bag that is kind of matching my shirt today, and it's got cute little alpaca or llamas. I think it was llamas. Anyway, either way, yeah, cute little design on there with the clear bottom. So that is that work in progress. And then lastly, I just kind of started this the other day. They are some baby booties. They're Sarchi's booties, and I'm knitting them. I'm in the middle of a row. Okay, let me finish the row and then I'll keep talking about it. So I'm knitting some more booties. I had knit these before in like a purple color. I forget what the yarn was. Lisa Souza. Yeah, I think it was like sample yarn that I got from a Knit More Girls meetup goodie bag. And so I'm knitting another pair of booties because my friend, she is having a baby shower, so this is her first baby, and I'm making a pair of booties for her, and hopefully a matching hat. And the yarn that I'm using is actually yarn that I had used to make her a hat, so she'll have a little matching set with the baby, hopefully if they fit. So yeah, so I'm using Squish Fiber Arts Beefcake Sock in the colorway Tom Collins, and knitting the larger size from the pattern, which is just more stitches, same needle size. So I'm using my signature circular sock needles. Yeah, US one's 2.25 millimeters. And yeah, that's the yarn. I've just made a little bit of progress, but this is a fun pattern that kind of comes up. And it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And yeah, the construction is really interesting. It kind of folds together and then you seam it up. So yeah, it's a cute pattern. Hopefully I'll have these done before the baby shower. And yeah, I'm sure I'll have the hat started soon too after these are finished. So, oh, and then here, let me show the yarn because there's not much to show on the knitting, but this is the colorway that I'm using. So yeah, that is all of my works in progress. Oh, and then this I just have sitting in a bag that the yarn has been sitting in since I worked on the hat that I made for her, but it's the Silver Shed project bag with the little foxes on it. So that is all my works in progress, and that brings us to pretty things. So I just have one little stash acquisition, which was actually a gift from one of my friends, so thank you, Kathy. And this is Malabrigo Roving, and it's in the colorway Piedras. So you can see that. There you go. And it's 100% merino. I think the base is Nube or Nube. Yeah, and it's so pretty. she actually sent me a picture of all of the roving in the store. She got this from the yarn store in Ashland. I think it's called the Web Spinners or something. I forget. It's been a while since I've been there, but I'll put a link in the show notes to the store. But she sent a picture of all of the different rovings in the store, the different Malabrigo ones, and I was like, "Ooh, that one looks pretty," and so she picked that up for me. So yeah, hopefully I can spin this soon. It's very like fall colors. I really like it. That would be a good thing to spin in the fall. So we'll see if I get to that anytime soon. I haven't used my wheel in a while, but hopefully can make more time for all of this now that I'm not traveling as much. So with that segue, that brings us to Local Delights. And boy, have I gone a lot of places since the last time I recorded. So I think I recorded in June. The last podcast was in June. So since then, I've been to San Diego Comic-Con, which I did mention. I was going to try and get an episode out, I think, before Comic-Con, but did not have the time at all. So, and then after coming back from Comic-Con, I think one weekend we went to LA, and then went to Hawaii, and then went to PAX in Seattle. So yeah, I think we might have gone to LA a couple times. But anyway, so that's where I've been recently. Comic-Con was fun as always, very tiring. But we did find a new cafe there that was really nice to go to for breakfast or lunch, because it wasn't too crowded, but it was still really close to the convention center. And it's called Copa Vida. And I'll put a link in the show notes, but they have some good coffee and drinks. I forget, it's been so long now, I forget what I got there. It was either like something matcha related. I think they did have like a iced matcha latte. And then they had some other iced drinks, or like tea or coffee based stuff there. And then they had some good like brunch kind of stuff. They had a special menu for Comic-Con, so we got some different like toasts and egg based foods that were pretty good. So I would definitely go back there again. Makes it easy to pick up food in the middle of all of the convention madness. And so after that, we didn't do too much in LA. We were down there for a wedding, so didn't have too much time to explore. But after that, going to Maui, we were there during the hurricane and didn't get to do as much stuff as we would have liked to, but we did make it up to Haleakala, the dormant volcano on Maui, and we were going to try and see the sunrise, but then we thought it was probably pretty likely it would be clouded in because of the hurricane, so we just went up there in the later morning, and took some pictures, did some sightseeing, and then headed back down. We did try to go to Iao Valley State Park, but that was closed the whole time we were there because of the hurricane. But we did find some new places, some old places. I don't know if I've mentioned Ululani's Shaved Ice before, but they have really good shaved ice in Maui. I don't know if they have, I think they're mainly on Maui. But yeah, they have good shaved ice. If you ever go there and are looking for shaved ice, then that's a good place to go. And then some new places that we went to, Maui Bread Company. They have all these different, it's a bread bakery, and they have all these different breads and cookies, other baked goods. They had this ube mochi bread that was really good, and then it was more of like a flat bread kind of almost, like very dense because of the mochi, and I don't think there was flour in regular flour in the ube mochi bread. I think it was just mochi. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. And then they also had more like loaf style, like small like banana bread style breads, but some of them were like coconut bread, pog bread, and like Hawaiian bread, which had some like coconuts and nuts, macadamia nuts, I think, and stuff in it. But it was all really good. And then we also found or tried Coconut's Fish Cafe, which was kind of just like a not fast food, but like a casual, like order at the counter, sit down, like fish cafe, because it's in the name. Yeah, they have like fish tacos, like fried fish, like calamari, regular fish, I think. Yeah, I forget what we ordered from there. And then they have poke there, which was good. And yeah, so those were a couple places some that we've been to, some that we haven't, that were worth checking out if you're ever in Maui, and hopefully there's not a hurricane. But we actually didn't get impacted too much other than the places being closed. There was really just some rain and some wind on a few days, but otherwise it wasn't too bad, because it did get downgraded to a tropical storm when we were there, and it was slowly traveling towards us. So yeah, and then after Maui, we went to Seattle for PAX, and that's in the Washington State Convention Center, the same place that PodCon was at later last year, which I plan on going to again in January. PodCon, Convention for Podcasts. But yeah, so PAX is Penny Arcade Expo, and that is kind of a gaming-based convention. They have tabletop games, video games on console and PC. Yeah, any type of gaming stuff is there. So yeah, it was really fun. We only went for 2 days. They have you can go for up to 4 days. And we actually didn't get to try that much of the tabletop stuff. I think every year I go, I keep saying, I should really try more of the tabletop. But we didn't get to do that. So hopefully next year. This year mostly trying out video games. And they had some really cute indie games that are coming out. And some new Switch games that were fun to play. But yeah, there were some places there that some that I had been to before and others that I hadn't. Anchorhead Coffee is close to the convention center. It's got some really good coffee and a few like small pastries for breakfast. Good place to stop by in the morning before the convention. And Mr. West Cafe I hadn't been to before, but they also have really good coffee and tea and other beverages. And then after 9 a.m. they start serving brunch. Before that it's just pastries. So after that they have like light brunch style, kind of like toasts and stuff. So we did go there for lunch one day and I really wanted to get like the salmon toast that they had, but they ran out of salmon and it was so sad because it looked really good, but the other toast was still good. I think I ended up getting avocado and eggs, but yeah. And then we also went to Oasis T-Zone, which I had been to the one in the International District before, and I thought it was just okay, but the one in Capitol Hill I liked. And I don't know if that was just the drinks that I had chosen because they were different. But the one that we went to in Capitol Hill was pretty good. So yeah, so those are some places in Seattle that we ventured to while we were there for PAX. And yeah, that's all that I have for local delights. So we'll do a quick wibbly wobbly timey-wimey, which is just stuff about Doctor Who. I'm really excited because the new season is starting on October 7th. I think, hopefully, and it has the new Doctor, which is Jodie Whittaker, and yeah, it's exciting because the Doctor is finally female, and it's just something new and exciting to look forward to and see what the season is going to be like with all of the new writers and the new cast, the new showrunner. And I did go see the Doctor Who panel at Comic-Con, and Jodie Whittaker was there, as well as the other actors that were playing the three companions, or two of the three companions. One of them could not make it, but it was really fun to watch, and there was this really kind of emotional message that they played during the panel, where it was kind of this welcome to Jodie Whittaker, and they had a lot of like reaction videos and people looking or watching the reveal of who the new Doctor was going to be, and a lot of like young girls that were watching and finding out that it's going to be someone like them. So it was really sweet to see, and I'm really excited for it. So we'll see how the new season is going to be like. So with that, that's all I have for you guys. I think my schedule is going to be a little erratic, maybe with the holidays coming up, and just have a lot of stuff going on the next couple months. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to podcast in a few weeks, but I will try and keep you posted on the announcement section in the Ravelry group. But otherwise, yeah, just if you don't see a podcast in 4 weeks, that's going to probably be normal. So, yeah. Anyway, social media stuff. I am Eliana Knits on Ravelry, Unperfect529 on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, everywhere else. I haven't really been active on Instagram or Twitter that much recently, so yeah. And again, there's a group in Ravelry called Knits and Stuff Podcast, and everything will be linked to in the show notes, which are at knitsandstuffpodcast.com. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.